We'll count down. Three, two, one.
Go. Good morning and welcome everybody to another edition of the Morning Brief with Jimmy Song and Tone Bays. My name is Valentin Schmidt and I'll be the host. And as usual, we're not going to waste a lot of time. We just get right into the stories. The first one is interesting. We've covered it before. We know actually Bulgaria has confirmed that they seized a bunch of Bitcoin worth a couple billion now. And now it seems they want to keep it because they lied to the European investigators where they are part of it, Interpol, and said there weren't any Bitcoin seized. Tone, what do you think about that?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, we don't know if they're lying or not. I just find the story very, very interesting. It's the inter-region agency saying that they have it. Bulgaria is saying that they don't have it. And Bulgaria is now saying that, well, technically, we weren't supposed to seize it. And it's weird. Like, the laws are going to get really, really weird. I'm somewhat familiar with these, Baltic states and like former, like Soviet Union areas. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they just want to keep the money and then that's how this thing ends. It'll be interesting. It'll be really, really interesting.
Jimmy, are they keeping the money for themselves?
Oh, I mean, I don't think government bureaucrats can resist that much money. I mean, especially since they have like all sorts of budget problems. Like, that's sort of what a politician does, is they want to throw money at problems, and this is a lot of money, and they would love to get this money and like make lives for their citizens much, much better. Maybe they have to drop out of Interpol, maybe they have to become sort of like a rogue state or whatever in order to keep this money, but they're going to do it in some way or find a way around it because the payoff is just so high. It's only a few billion now.
I go the other way on this, Jimmy. If they wanted to use this money to like help their citizens, they would. Then they would go with it's not Interpol, it's another agency. Mm-hmm. But if they were going to use that money for the good of their citizens, this would not be a controversy right now. I think it's more like the politicians want to keep it for themselves, which is why they're like, where's the what money? We didn't seize any money. Yeah. So that's where I'm leading to.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, there's a lot of money. Everyone wants their share. Possession's going to be huge in this thing. Hopefully they have it in a multi-sig, because it could be just some IT guy that takes it and goes and flies to Venezuela or St. Kitts or something.
Okay, so much for that. So much for Bulgaria. I'm sure the story is going to stay with us. The next one, we got some commentary from a viewer yesterday that we are biased on Ripple, and I guess we'll have to plead guilty on that, but only because we haven't seen any intelligent arguments that would justify the valuation. If you have any, please let us know. In the meantime, we would like all the information to get out, not just Nathaniel Popper's take, the New York Times journalist, who said he spoke to a few people and nobody said that they were using Ripple. And then Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, responded, and kind of obvious what he's saying. He says he's spoken to a lot of people and everybody's interested. Okay, well, the Enron CEO also said our books are perfectly fine. And then a few months later, the company went bankrupt. That's why you have journalists who are supposed to verify what the companies are saying. And then it gets worse for Garlinghouse, who accuses Popper not to have done the interviews with the names that he has given him. And then Popper said, well, they never got back to me until now. Here's what they say. Paul Dyer, CEO of Via America's Latin America transfer business, says, yeah, we're doing tests and we are hoping to begin using it soon. It holds real promise, but the degree to which we are going to use it will depend on how much our banking partners are willing to adopt it. So, that doesn't sound like they're going all in with this. Kaushik Rajgopal, the head of the global payments practice at McKinsey, said he couldn't comment on the adoption of XRP. He did say in broad terms, the most successful solutions are likely to be focused by use case, such as corresponding banking and securities clearing, but will also need to clear a high bar to dislodge incumbent infrastructure, such as the SWIFT system, and will need to deliver not just marginally better proposition, but a proposition that is a step function better. So this is basically meaningless. The guy from McKinsey, he didn't say, yeah, I know 100 banks who are going to use it next year. He says, well, I can't comment on it. And they have to clear a high hurdle. So my vote goes with Nathalion on this one. Brad, unfortunately, you didn't prove that your product is actually in use. Tone.
Well, several things here. First of all, that statement by Brad is like, oh, I'm a CEO. I spoke to a lot of people and they're interested. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Like how many people are interested in Elon Musk's flying to Mars program, right? Like it's, yeah, you say something ridiculous that everyone is interested doesn't mean you're going to actually be able to achieve it anytime soon, right? That's one thing. The second thing is, you see, what Brad is realizing is that the shit token that they created that should never have been created has now valued his company and people involved in that company as bigger than Enron was, with a significantly crappier product that Enron had. So now he's on a mission to actually try and defend it. And this is why you don't create a token and allow 12-year-olds to speculate on it, okay? Now, the biggest problem he's going to have is explaining to the SEC how the Ripple token is not a security. And it doesn't help when the C-level people in your company have somewhat quasi-stated that it's an investment opportunity, and that's what's gonna make it a security. So, I mean, you may have Ben Bernanke and what's his name? Ben Lawsky, the two Bens over there, you may have them show up at the SEC and use their contacts to try and keep you guys from being labeled as, trading an unregistered, unlicensed security that you guys created out of thin air, among the fact that you now need to explain how to use this token. Look, the problem with Ripple is the token. Like, I don't really have a problem with R3 other than calling themselves a blockchain, which is ridiculous. So thank God they actually stopped. You are R3 with the scam token. The problem is the token. You need to eliminate the token, but you can't, right? Because it's what's making you guys billionaires. So good luck with your problem. I have no idea how you're going to get out of it. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be stepping down. I mean, like all these guys, just get out while you can. Go to China, get away. Pull a big Vern. It's not going to end well.
So Tone's stance has always been that the problem is the token. It's not the payment network. Like, we don't have a problem with SWIFT, not particularly fast and efficient. And if they make a better product, fantastic. Our question has always been, why is the token there? Why is it worth 200 billion? And Tone thinks also because of the history, how the token was created with Jeff McCaleb, that it's most likely to be a scam token, right?
Completely, yeah.
Okay, Jimmy, what's your take on the matter?
Well, I mean, he's still sort of like shouting stuff that people moved on from like 3 years ago. It's the blockchain, not Bitcoin. It's we're gonna use our own token to make this all happen. He's reviving a business model he abandoned 3 years ago in an attempt to capitalize on the unit bias that a lot of new investors to crypto have, which is, hey, I don't want to buy something that's $15,000. I want to buy something that's like a fraction of a penny. They only look at the numerator and completely ignore the denominator, which is idiotic, to be honest, because you're just trading on what the unit value is. And the thing about a Ripple is you can't buy fractions of a Ripple. This is the smallest unit of a Ripple. If you did that with Satoshis, one Satoshi would be like 1/100th of a penny or something like that. So this is a lot of stupidity going in. I think a lot of people just need to get wrecked before they learn their lesson. I found this tweet by Box Mining really, really helpful. And here, if you remove unit bias and just pretend everything has like the same supply as Bitcoin, here's what the actual price of these coins is. Ripple is like 18,900, Bitcoin's 15.6, Ethereum 6,000, Solar Coin is 4,900, Stellar's 4,400. A lot of these coins have been pumping simply because the price looks cheap. people don't realize there's often like 100 billion of these things that exist, whereas with Bitcoin there's only 21 million. And this is really, really kind of dumb, guys. Like, you need to remove your unit bias and have some sort of standard way. I'm really hoping that CoinMarketCap or CoinCap or all of these places that sort of show these different cryptos, that they would start, showing them this way or some other way, so you sort of have a normalized way of looking at things instead of just looking at the numerator. The numerator is meaningless without the denominator, guys, and this is something that people need to know.
And Jay, people have actually already started messaging CoinMarketCap to add this column to their website, like eliminate this unit bias, a Bitcoin price equivalent, basically, the value of one token in the same, numerator as Bitcoin.
I think people should start messaging CoinMarketCap and ask them to remove Ripple altogether, because it's really not a cryptocurrency and has nothing to do with it.
I've been saying that for years. I used to tweet out, this is before I had all these followers. I used to just, every time I would tweet out a picture of, or any time I would talk about, go back to my videos from a year ago. I mean, it's kind of random, even though we'll find it. But I always said, why the hell's Ripple on CoinMarketCap? I mean, it's like putting one coin on CoinMarketCap. Why? Why is it there?
Now you could put the US dollar on and gold on CoinMarketCap. It's the same thing.
Guys,
again,
stop. We lost speed. All right, we're back. Good. We're back.
So again, we don't have a problem with Ripple, the company. Go list yourself.
Feed again.
Yeah. Something's wrong with the feed. It's coming back right now. So give it a second.
We're going in and out. We're going in and out.
Okay, we're good now. I don't know why it does this. Like my ISP sucks. All right, it's back. We should be back. All right, so sorry, Valentin, can you repeat the question?
Can somebody in the chat please comment whether we are back and where we left off?
It froze again. What the hell?
Yeah, it's going in and out. Do you try logging in again?
To what?
Like yesterday when you... okay, now we're back. Damn, what the hell's going on?
I don't know.
It's going in and out for me. I can see it.
Yeah, all right. So I'll have to go and change things, but well, I can't do anything about it because it's on my end. It's my thing that's wrong.
Okay, guys in the chat, General Byzantine, can you comment whether we are back online so we can continue?
Not yet. It's all right. It's starting to burst again, and then it's at 2,500. All right, we seem good. But I'm not entirely sure.
The chat is still...
Yeah, they're at least a few seconds behind, so we're going to know before they do.
Okay.
All right, let's just go on. Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, they say we are back. Okay, so we are back. People in the chat were commenting that Bcash and Ripple Ripple Labs is trying to shut us down. But we will continue next with another, unfortunately, a little bit worrying story. This week we had the news that all Intel chips basically have this security bug, which nobody noticed for 15 years, which who knows whether that was on purpose or not. Anyway, Jimmy, you say it's not that relevant for Bitcoiners.
No, I mean, not really. If you're taking really good security practices and have a hardware wallet or an offline machine, you should be fine. It's really only if you have like a something online and there's sort of an exploit vector or something like that. But I mean, you guys are using good security practices, right? I hope you are. So if not, then go learn a little bit more about Bitcoin security and how paranoid you really should be about this stuff.
Yeah, I basically try not to store any Bitcoin on my computer. I mean, I use Windows, but even if I use the Mac, I think in the beginning when I first got into Bitcoin, I had a Mac, so I had some Bitcoin on my computer. But yeah, I don't recommend storing any Bitcoin on a computer. I mean, I prefer cell phone security way better, and also hardware wallets.
Hardware wallets, offline computers, maybe even an offline phone or something like that. There are ways to do all of those, so I would recommend those way more.
Yeah, offline phone is also one of my favorites. So you just, when the next time you buy an Android, preferably an Android because iPhones don't like to update people. They just make their devices paperweights. So next time you get a new Android, just use your old Android as an offline wallet where you can like store Bitcoin. You know,
okay, we're gonna go off for a second.
Offline storage.
All right, we have some
easy.
problems.
So don't.
All right, we're back. We're back. Okay.
So don't touch anything with an Intel inside, and you're good. Next story, more positive. Bitfury Group unveiled that they are doing some forensic analysis into blockchain to catch bad people. Jimmy, you pull up the story.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good story. Actually, I think it's a bad story. Because this is like the next level of chain analysis. You can go find out who's doing what. And you know they published the white paper about address clustering. It's you can go take a look at it, and there's this whole thing on how you can like cluster addresses and figure out who did what. I don't think this is a good thing at all, and I'm kind of disappointed in Bitfury Group that they're sort of enabling this stuff. But I mean, the data is there, so I guess somebody was bound to come up with some way to analyze it sooner or later. But yeah, I'm not that happy with this development.
You must be a criminal then.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm also going back and forth with this. Like, why is Bitfury doing it? This is like the second time Bitfury is like puzzling, because they've done a lot of good for the Bitcoin community, but then they come out with, crap like that. Why are they using their engineers to do this? Now, Jimmy is right. Somebody was going to do it, but like, I hate it when the Bitcoin people that want to support Bitcoin are actually coming out and tracking this. There's one part of that article that didn't really make sense to me. Here, like at the bottom, the last sentence of the first paragraph, Jimmy. Just go back up.
All right. The last sentence of the first paragraph, it's just one sentence.
Okay, so after the last comma.
While also showing Bitcoin users ways to protect their privacy. Yeah,
that didn't make sense. That part of the article like stood out because there's nothing in that article that references that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. See, the question is going to become
Yeah, no, yeah, we're crapping out again.
Let's see. Hopefully, we're still streaming.
My internet connection is unstable. Yeah. All right. It's starting again. I really got to figure out what the hell's going on.
Well, anyway, I'm just gonna say it. I think we're back. Mm-hmm. Basically, it comes down to this. Until we know for a fact holding Bitcoin is legal or illegal, and I mean holding Bitcoin, on your own, not holding Bitcoin at Coinbase, right? Like holding Bitcoin on Coinbase will probably be legal, and I'm saying probably, right? But the question becomes: is concealed holding of Bitcoin going to be legal or illegal? And there's really only two regions that matter, which is the US and the EU for now, right? So what happens, right? What happens if concealed holding of Bitcoin on your Trezor, becomes illegal? Like, what is Bitfury doing here, right? I don't know. It makes no sense. But you're right. Somebody was going to do it. And we'll have second layer solutions to give us all some privacy. I'm still waiting for like Nimble and confidential transactions. And
there's also Zero Link and Join Market. I mean, I think that's going to be the way to do it.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff is going to be integrated as second layer, not as first layer. And hopefully, some people will build some really good wallets that will integrate these features, and we won't care.
Very good. We do care about mining in China, where I reprimanded Jimmy a little bit for tweeting out the quite aggressive tweet about the Quartz article, which basically just sums up what happened last week, but we should talk about it. So China is not going to ban Bitcoin mining, at least that there is no that. However, the steps that they are taking, which the Quartz article does talk about, which is cutting tax subsidies and cutting electricity subsidies, could be the beginning of a harder stance on mining. And what would be the effects?
We're lagging again. We're lagging again.
We're back.
So Jimmy, how likely do you think these affect? This is going. How much does this going to be affect the mining industry in China and Bitcoin? And how likely do you think they're actually going to ban China?
Yeah, so the thing
ban mining in China.
Yeah, the thing about look at this. It's
lose Jimmy.
Yeah, we're losing the internet connection. I swear I upgraded to fiber to like avoid this crap, and it's not like actually making it better. All right. I think we're back now. Okay. All right. Sorry guys. Sorry. All right. So here it is. So the thing about Bitcoin mining is that you could really do it from anywhere, and the only reason that they've been doing it in China is because of the cheaper electricity. So I expect this to actually cause a lot of miners to move to other places. So we know that, you know, there's mining operations in like Iceland and in Mongolia and many other places. And I want sort of like jurisdictional diversity in where the mining farms are. China happens to be a pretty good place to have a lot of this stuff because, you know, they have a very large population and like a lot of manufacturing and stuff. But, you know, TSMC, which does a lot of the chip manufacturing and stuff, they're in Taiwan. They can pretty much ship anywhere. So I'm actually hoping that a lot more mining goes to Canada and, you know, colder places because the heat dissipation is a lot easier. Maybe some of these other places where it's also drier. And, you know, diversify on the global mining.
Okay, so overall positive. Even if they don't ban it, alone the tax reductions and the reductions in subsidies will make mining more decentralized. Good.
I pretty much agree with Jimmy on this one. Again, like the centralization of mining never scared me in China. I knew it was going to end sooner or later, and that's just how things go.
Okay, good news. We're going to keep on following the story, and bad news. We've got some bad news for the end, which Tone came up with to bother us with the anti-money laundering laws. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. Like, I really didn't like the statement from Larry Fink at the very top of that article. If Jimmy can just scroll up, and then we'll read it over to you guys.
Can you see it?
No, you're further down now. There we go. Okay, excellent. Bitcoin just, oh, shoot, no.
Go down? Because this was where I was.
I know, but maybe there's just a delay on the feed. That's the problem. So it's maybe you just read it.
Okay, which one? The Bitcoin just shows you how much demand for money laundering there is in the world. It's an index of money laundering.
Yeah. So the one thing that this article like doesn't point out is that, and people are like tweeting this article at me saying, "Hey, the government's going to go after you." The thing is, the government can't go after me. I cannot be accused of money laundering with Bitcoin because the only way you can be accused of money laundering with Bitcoin is if you earn Bitcoin from criminal activity. And as far as I know, I have not yet earned any Bitcoin from criminal activity unless they ban trading education. So, so that's the big difference, right? Like people have to separate, you know, money laundering.
Yeah, we're getting lag again, I think.
Yeah, people have to understand the difference between money laundering crimes and, you know, I guess transportation of money crimes or possession of money crimes versus tax evasion, right? So people have to understand the difference between those. And to be accused of money laundering, you actually have to earn income from illegal means. Like if, for example, if drugs are legal in your jurisdiction and you made a bunch of money by selling drugs, you are not a money launderer because you earned that money by legal means. Now you may be accused of tax evasion, you may be making international, you know, like if you're traveling, like if you have a Trezor in your bag and that Trezor has like 10 Bitcoin and they catch you with that Trezor, you could be in a lot of trouble, right? Because then you're actually moving a lot of money over the border. But those aren't money laundering crimes unless the income was earned from illegal means. And not enough articles are focusing on that and pointing that out.
Jimmy, what do you think?
I'm really sorry about the stream, guys. It keeps going in and out. Like this is like insane. I'm gonna have to like, well, yeah, I'm really sorry. Anyway, yeah, I think the money laundering aspect is something that...
Channels, and we didn't know how to do that, but Richard Hart is able to general directions. So we'll try and go back to Hangouts next week. Maybe it'll be better.
Yeah, I basically like this thing is just I think it's my internet connection. I've had this issue before. I've like complained to my ISP, but yeah, I'm sorry guys. I don't know what's going on this morning. There's probably somebody downloading a torrent down the street or something.
Oh, by the way, since people, I am planning to do like a longer version of my show, like the Trading Bitcoin show, where I talk about it for an hour and take Q&A. I do plan on doing that today, probably in a couple hours from now when I set up for that.
Okay.
So I'll be back online talking about price some more.
Okay, all right. So we're good now. Yeah, I think cash is the biggest thing, and governments want to ban cash for this reason. I don't think sort of like anti-money laundering makes any sense from a regulatory standpoint. People are gonna like trade value some other way anyway. So yeah, I'm just very much against this stuff. Oh God, we're down again. Yeah, all right. So let's just go. I was gonna do the mempool stuff, but yeah, I feel like we're just getting into worse and worse streaming territory.
All right, do I dare try the price?
Yeah, why don't you try the price? I'll stop sharing. Maybe it's like Zoom or something. I don't. This is really, really annoying. I'm gonna have to go complain to my ISP.
All right, let's well, let me do a screen share.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what happened to my Zoom now? Shoot. Oh, here it is. I got it. Maximize that, screen share, and here we go. All right, here's my screen share. I just wanted to send a quick update. I'm down to like 1 seat left at my Singapore seminar. I'm almost surprised that I sold out. But yeah, if you haven't paid for your seat for trading in Singapore, you better hurry up. It's described it. The weekly remains bullish. We're gonna get to a new week soon, and the tricky part is gonna be next week. Can we close next week at a new all-time high above 19,000? If we can close next week above 19,000, then it sets us up really well for the rest of the month, and then for a potential correction later. This particular correction that we had, it was a little bit hard to time, and I'm going to talk a lot about that later today on my video, actually. Here's the daily chart. The daily chart is the one that is looking most optimistic. We are now above the prior high of the triangle. At this point, if we reverse and go back down, it becomes, just, bad luck in the market. But at this point, my target is $24,500. I cannot see a double top reversing the prices to new lows. So at this point, I am looking for new all-time highs within the next few months, I guess. Here's the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart worked out perfectly as predicted here last show, where I was looking for one of these nines, and not just last couple of shows, but also my tweets. So go ahead and check those out. I was looking for a 9 to give us a little bit of a pullback. You can see that the pullback started even earlier than the 9, and my tweets explained why the pullback started earlier than the 9. Because when the 4-hour had this 8 candle, the 1-hour had hit a 9, and it was like this. I drew this arrow on live air, and I tweeted out with it, and you can see how this 9 called the perfect top on the hourly chart. We had a little bit of a correction. Would have been, and we actually had a 9 on the hourly. I mean, I wasn't looking at it, but let me turn on the back test here. I know this is a green 1, but that's because it flipped the candle. When this candle started, there was a 9 buy indication, and I guess enough people bought to flip this candle in color. We didn't make a smaller low, a nice doji candle here, and now we're going back up. So this is once again looking amazingly well. This is like textbook stuff here. We have a high that's pretty much right here. The break of this high is awesome because it just times in all of the other time frames. But we also have, according to the indicator, the moment this 2 started trading above that 1, that became a buying opportunity using the hourly chart. So the hourly chart has gone slightly bullish. It will go fully bullish above 17,000. And it times well with the 4-hour chart, because the 4-hour chart with this 9, you're looking for a 1 to 4 candle correction and then back up. But keep in mind, the correction started a little bit earlier because the hourly chart was toppy. So once again, here, everything is lining up. The moment we break the 17,000 area, this is another chart that becomes very, very bullish. So the 1 hour is about to go in line with the 4 hour again, and they're both in line with the daily, being a 5 out of a 9. So probably later today, once I see us breaking above 17,000, I'm going to be super bullish, and it could be an imminent pop. Well, like if we can go from 17,000 to 18 or 19,000 as fast as this candle right here, what we did from 15 to 17. This is how, you know, you stay patient as a trader. You wait for a good trade and you jump on it. That's kind of how you're supposed to do it. Now, that's pretty much it. I mean, here's Ripple. It's just nice how Ripple is going from 9 to 9. But again, this 9 here, just like in Bitcoin, 1 to 4 candle correction. In this case, the correction is a dead cat bounce. And look, where do we bounce to? Well, we bounce to this line here, which is, again, so textbook, where you bounce back to the breakdown point. I mean, this was a clear breakdown point. Whatever that is, 0.00018. I don't know what that is in dollars. Maybe it's the round number of 250 to $3. I have no idea, right? I'm not looking at the dollar version of this. So this could be some kind of a dollar round number, and then we bounced into it, and now we're going back below the moving average. I think this is the 4-hour chart. If I look at the daily chart, I'm sure it's going to look ugly as well. So the daily chart is not even bearish yet. I don't know why I'm continuing to talk about Ripple, but Ripple becomes bearish probably tomorrow once we start trading below the current candle. Oh, no, wait, the color flips. But yeah, Ripple's got a long way to go. I mean, this is just, anyway, enough Ripple talk. All right, guys, on this note, I'll see you all on my channel later on today, where I will do my best to bring you Bitcoin trading with Q&A. It's supposed to be a more than once a week show, but it has now become a once a week show. How do I stop sharing screen here? Oh, there you go. All right, bye.
Thanks, Tom, for this more positive analysis. Jimmy, your last words.
I'm really, really sorry, guys, for all the streaming stuff. My ISP sucks. I have AT&T fiber. I hate you, AT&T, because you do this to me every day. But yeah, I'm hopefully going to, I don't know, I'm going to check my router setup and stuff, but it's almost always the actual modem that has problems. But yeah, I'll check again, make sure that that's the case. Anyway, this song was probably done a while ago, but it's done now.